Hello guys, my name is Carl, which is not actually my name, it's more like a nickname, but you can call me that. Personally, in my life I'm a software developer, but actually, to be more honest, I'm a backend developer, but from time to time I used to write also front-end apps.
Well, yes, but actually no.
But normally I'm a backend developer, which means that I'm writing the code that stands behind the backend part of the web apps. We can call it like, I don't know, the core, the engine of the web apps, the part that serves data to the front-end part. That's what backend do. I would like to create a series of videos in which I'll be showing people how to do stuff, how to program. I mean, focusing on the backend part. How I'll be showing you the knowledge, how I'll be transferring the knowledge to you, because that's the most important thing in that. That part is the most important. I'll try to focus on that part. I mean, to do those videos as funny as I can and at the same time as knowledge transferable as I can, but we will see. Life will show how it goes.
We shall see.
In this video, I wanted to consider few things related to programming, why you should consider going into that and why you shouldn't. So I mean pros and cons, advantages and disadvantages of programming. Maybe they're not as obvious at first sight, but we'll try to consider them. So let's start with the advantages, with things that are positive, because you should think about positive things. All right, the first thing, do you like Lego bricks? You know, those Danish toys? I'm saying that because on the backend part, programming is like having bricks, gluing them together, and after that, after a few hours of writing the code, actually in normal life, after a few hours it still doesn't work, but let's say that it would work after a few hours, and you can see the thing working, and that's the thing that can motivate you, and that's the first aspect. In my case, I mean, in my personal opinion, programming is like gluing the Lego bricks, and after that you can see how your small car is driving, and it's fun. You can see how things actually work, and it's fun. The second thing that maybe is not that obvious at first sight is developing your analytical skills, because very often when you're programming you have to consider how the business process, I mean how the process developed in some company, I mean business process like having a money transfer, etc. works in normal life. You have to analyze the process and very often optimize the process, so it develops your analytical skills, analytical thinking. Actually, it doesn't work that well when you have to communicate with your wife. But that's the other problem that we can have. The third thing you probably wouldn't consider before doing that is that programming is helping you to find ready solutions. Because very often it doesn't make sense to build a wheel from scratch. It would make sense to just Google that, find a solution that is already done by someone else, and it is probably working, because if you try to solve the problem yourself, very often it wouldn't work. And that's why there are people in the internet who have already solved these problems that you will have, and they are solved. So basically you have to Google. And that's the third thing. Programming teaches you how to Google properly, which is very useful in normal life. The fourth thing that maybe is not that easy to see on the first side is that each time you'll be developing a web application, you will have to consider the security layer, because there are really many vulnerabilities in the web. And if you have to consider the security part, you will have to understand the threats that are standing behind it. And at the same time, it will make you more safe when you'll be browsing the web, because you will understand the threats, because you will have to understand the threats to secure the app. And the fifth point, which in my personal opinion is the most motivating part, is solving real life issues, real life problems, and actually helping people. So the first example is money transfer. You can make a money transfer via the web. You don't have to go to bank directly to make a money transfer, because there were some programmers who wrote an application that lets you send the money to a person that is, I don't know, a few hundred kilometers away. And that's one of the examples why it helps people. And it's the most motivating part, in my opinion. Right, I'm talking about the positive aspects, but as you can guess, programming also has negative aspects. And I would like to list, I have 4 of them, because I wanted to show you that there are more positive aspects. So that's why you have 5 of them, and here you have 4. Programming has really high learning curve, which means that you have to learn a lot to start programming. That's the, let's say, negative aspect. But I guess since you're starting watching this video, you're a cool guy, smart guy, so probably you will handle that. That's why I'm not worried about this part, but that's a fact. You'll have to dissolve a lot of information. You'll have to learn a lot of stuff to start programming on a professional level. At the same time, the problem is that technologies and solutions are changing constantly in a pace that is high, let's say. So basically, very often there is even a joke for JavaScript, which is a front-end application, part, technology, etc., that when you buy a book, it is probably already old and you will have to buy another book because that's the way, that's the pace in which technologies are changing nowadays.
Whoa, this is worthless.
The next thing that is not very obvious is that you have to be careful when it comes to your eyes, neck, back, wrist, elbows, and even brain, because from time to time you can read a part of code that is so bad, is that bad that you can get a stroke.
What the hell is even that?
Oh yeah, it's hard to program when you're standing. I mean, you can have a desk that can lift up, but very often, in most common cases, you won't have, and you will be sitting for 8 hours, 5 days a week. It's 40 hours a week when you're sitting. And after that, when there is bad weather, as in my case right now, there is a thunderstorm outside, after a few hours of sitting, you will be so tired that the only thing that you'll be able to do will be sitting on a couch. So you'll be sitting for the next few hours and you will get even more tired.
I'm too weak.
So it's really important to move, to have some sport, to go to swim, to go run, to go cycle, whatever. You can go skateboarding, whatever. Just consider moving yourself out, because sitting for the whole day can be really exhausting. So to sum this up, I really encourage you to try doing those courses so that you can see how backend part of web applications look like, how developing them looks like. And if you like solving issues or glowing Lego bricks, I guess you will like it. That was all. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.